All right, we're still in Unit 1, but we're going over some exam questions for the final. A production manager studies the relationship between the length of time an employee has been working and the number of items made in that day. He uses the following model. N equals 25T minus 9, where T is the time an employee has been working in a day in hours, and N is the number of items made that day. Do not mention units in your answers. How many items will an employee make in 5 hours? Okay, well that 5 right there, that's our time. So we can plug it in here. So we get the formula N equals, now 25 is our rate, and we are going to substitute 5 for T, and then subtract 9. Okay, so we get out our calculator. We're going to plug it in exactly as we see it. 25 times 5 minus 9. And we get that they make 116 items. So that means that my new number is going to be 116. How long would an employee have to work to make 80 items? Well, in this case, 80 is our number of items. So 80 equals 25 times T, we don't know how long that is, minus 9. Now, in order to solve this, we need to move the 9 over to the other side. So that minus becomes a plus, and we get 89 equals 25 multiplied by the time. So now in order to solve for T, we need to move the 25 over. So we need to do 89 divided by 25. And it's 3.56. So the amount of time that's required is 3.56 hours. How many items will the employee make in 8 hours? Okay, once again, we're looking for how many items, and they're asking basically how many items would an employee make in a normal working day. So 25 times 8 minus 9. Okay, so once again, we're going to plug it in exactly as we see it. 25 times 8 minus 9. And we get that the new number is 191 items. Okay, let's try another one, kind of on the same vein. A trader buys 105 pairs of trainers for 104 each. All right, so that is my quantity, and that is my buying cost, right? He sells 89 pairs. There's another quantity. For 209 each. Okay, so that's my selling price. And the rest, the rest. That's, once again, another quantity, but we need to solve for it, for 151 each. So we have another selling price. What profit does he make? Okay, first we need to look at our total cost. Now, the formula for total cost is the buying cost times the quantity, and then any additional cost. But in this case, it doesn't mention, so we're not going to factor it in. We know the buying cost is 104, and he bought 105 pairs. So we get out our calculator. 104 times 105 gives me 10920. So that means that my total cost is 10,920 dirhams. Now the next thing is total revenue. And my total revenue takes two different streams. The first stream is that we have 209 multiplied by my quantity, which is 89. And then the rest were 51. But we don't know how many. We know that my quantity here was 105, and 89 have been sold. So if we subtract the two, 105, and subtract how many have been sold, we get that there are only 16 pair left. Okay, so if we multiply this out, that means that my revenue here times 89 is 18,601, and my revenue here, 151 times 16, is 2,416. So my total revenue would be adding these two together. 18,601 plus 2,416 gives me 21,017 dirhams. So if we're looking for the profit, now remember, another way of saying profit is looking at net income. So if we're looking at our net income, we're looking at the total revenue and subtracting the total cost. So now my total revenue was right here. We just found it. My total revenue is 21,017 dirhams, and my total cost is 10,920 dirhams, which means that my net income would be the difference between the two. 21,017 minus 10,920 gives me a net income of 10,097 dirhams. And that's a little bit more from Unit 1.